Hey guys, welcome to Learning 8. So in this video, we are going to discuss a Java program to print a pattern. So here is the pattern. So it is a square matrix and where only the boundaries are printed with stars. So that is the expected output. So I recommend you to pause the video and try your own logic. So let us discuss this step-by-step approach. To get this star pattern, so here it is a square matrix of 5 by 5 in this example. So whenever it comes to square matrix, we'll be using two for loops. So one is outer for loop, and we'll be using this outer for loop to print always the rows. And we'll be using one inner for loop to print the columns. So this is for columns here. And this is the first point. And when it comes to the rows, mostly we'll start numbering these rows and columns from 0, mostly 0. So here I'm naming this row number 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. When it comes to corresponding columns also, the numbering is mostly from 0. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once we have these numbers, then we'll be using one variable I to represent the outer for loop with rows, and we'll be using a variable j to represent columns with inner for loop. Once we have these rows and rows numbering and the corresponding variable, then when we have to print star, it's very easy. If you just notice here, so when this I value is 0, there is a row of stars here, correct? And when there is I is 4, then there is a one more row of stars. So that's one. And when j is 0, then here is a column of stars where we want to print in our output. And when j is 4 also, we have a column of stars. That's what we have to print. Yeah. So here, how do we get this? For example, if it is a 5 by 5 matrix, then we take a parameter called n with a value 5 as input. If I equal to 0, we have to print it. I'm not writing Java program, I'm just explaining. If I equal to 0, we have to print a row of stars. Then if I equals to 4, how do you represent 4 to make it as a generic logic? When n is 5, can we get 4 by having n minus 1? Yes. At the same time, if j equals to 0, we have to print the stars. And if j equals to 4 also, we have to print the stars in this 5 by 5 matrix, therefore n minus 1. So this is a generic logic which will be applicable to every square matrix to print only the boundaries with stars. I should be 0 or I should be n minus 1, and j should be 0 and j should be n minus 1. So if any of these four conditions are true, we have to print the corresponding star in that particular position. Let us discuss the same program through Eclipse. So for the same program, I have taken a class pattern2, and with the method get pattern and with input parameters n. And here is the inner for loop, which is using the variable I and starting with 0, and I is running till n minus 1, and j is with 0 with inner for loop, and j is also running till n minus 1. And what is our condition? So we have to check a condition. If I is 0 or I is n minus 1, or j is 0 or j is n minus 1. So we have to print a star. So I'm using print, not println. And for a better view, I'm using one extra space. And in this else part also, it's a print. So since here we are using one star and one space, in between this print else part also, I'm using two spaces for a same or similar square approach. So this is about the inner for loop code, and outside the inner for loop and before the outer for loop, we are using one println. So for the cursor to move to the next line. That's it. Let us to execute this method. So we have to create the object, and by using object variable, we can call the function. And I'm implementing scanner class, and that scanner class input variable is passed as a parameter to our method variable parameter called n. So let us save this program and execute from this. So here I'm giving a input called 5. So this is what our expected pattern. And since it's a generic, let me also execute once again to take other input called 3. Then it should be a 3 by 3 square matrix where only the boundary should be the stars. Yeah, I hope you understood. For me to make more videos, please post your questions in the comment section. Thank you and see you in the next video.